A very good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Notebook Zero Hour Online Interschool International Debate powered by Stayfree and brought to you in partnership with Save the Children. It's been a privilege hosting so many schools for this wonderful debate. As with anything new, when we started off, we did not expect this to assume the scale it has reached. We are humbled and honored to have so many schools around the world participate. We've had participation from countries in the Middle East, from countries in Africa, and this what we had envisioned to be a very simple inter-school debate has now evolved into perhaps the world's largest online event for schools of this kind. And we are privileged and humbled to be the host. Before we start today, our warm welcome to the teams from Dr. Abdul Kalam International School and Research Academy and Sri Ravi Shankar Vidyamandir. It's a privilege having you with us. So without much ado, let us start the debate for the day. Before we start off, we are partnered with Stayfree. Stayfree is a Johnson & Johnson brand who do a phenomenal amount of great work for young women, especially women entering their puberty. There's this public service announcement message that they have shared with us to be shared with everybody who's attending the debates. And I think it's very important that we take away some thoughts from this video.
मेरे पीरियड शुरू हो गए
पहली बार हो रहे हैं मुझे तो काफी अजीब लग रहा है
पीरियड्स में मुझे आसान काम भी मुश्किल लगता है बहुत दर्द होता है
मैं किसी के पास बैठ भी नहीं सकती और जब मैं उठती हूँ बार-बार निशान चेक करती हूँ
घर में एक ही वॉशरूम है तो पैड चेंज करने में मुझे शर्म आती है
मुझे पैड को कचरे में छोड़ना पड़ता है हर बार
She may not understand what she's going through. She just needs to know. You do. Over 2 million girls will get their first period in lockdown. Your daughter or sister could be one of them. Talk to her. Tell her.
It's normal. It's just a period.
And ladies and gentlemen, with that wonderful heartwarming message from Stayfree, it's time to start the debate. So today's debate is between the Dr. Abdul Kalam International School and Research Academy from Kottaram, Kanyakumari, and Sri Ravi Shankar Vidyamandir from Bangalore. The topic before the House today is this House believes organ donation should be made compulsory. This is one of those topics that perhaps was not as debatable before the corona lockdown started, but with the current pandemic, we are very keen to learn what our contestants think. These are the two teams. The teams, if you could switch on your cameras as and when we invite you. From Dr. Abdul Kalam School, Ma'am Samira Basit is the adjudicator. Sana Fatima S is the student speaking for the motion, and Aisha Fauzia is the student speaking against the motion. From Sri Ravi Shankar Vidyamandir, Bangalore, we have Sulakshana Bandopadhyay as the adjudicator. Smriti Shreya would be speaking for the motion, while Kartikeya Chaturvedi is going to speak against the motion. Yes, we have all four students on the camera. Wonderful seeing you. Hello and welcome. So this would be the speaking order. Sana, you would start by speaking for the motion, followed by Kartikeya speaking against the motion, followed by Smriti speaking for the motion, and Aisha, you would finish up speaking against the motion. In the first round, you get 5 minutes to place your arguments. Once you're done placing your arguments after each one of your session, the judges will enter their scores out of 95. Judges, please note that row number 9 for rebuttal is not to be filled up after the first round. Once the students come back for the rebuttal for 2 minutes in their second round, you can fill in the rebuttal scores, and that's when we will have your totals out of 100. We have 3 judges today. We have the 2 teachers from the 2 schools, and we have Meghna Laha. Ms. Laha is an advisor with Notebook. She holds an MPA from the SIPA School of Public Administration from University of Columbia, New York. And she has worked with the World Bank when she was monitoring 45 unsupervised projects in Africa. It's a privilege having her with us as one of the judges. Without much ado, we will start the debate now. Sana, if you're ready.
Yeah, so my name is Sana and I'm studying in Dr. Abdul Kalam, Dr. Abdul Kalam International School of Research and Academy. And my hobbies are painting and art, and it's such a pleasure to be here.
Thank you so much, Sana. It's such a pleasure having you here. And it's such a pleasure that you have been watching our debates that you knew exactly what I was going to ask of you. Sana, there's a slight lag in your video and audio. Your network is fine, right?
Yeah.
Cool. Don't worry. In case there's a technical glitch, we will pause the timing and we will start when you join back. All right. So
Okay,
nothing to
sure.
worry about. Don't have to be worried about that.
Mm.
Okay. All the best. And if you're ready with your arguments, your time for the debate starts now.
First and foremost, I would like to express my sincere gratitude to Notebook and Stayfree, who gave this excellent platform for students to perform and portray our talents. I also humbly express my thanks for the team and audience who made this happen. Now, let's step into my topic, which I have selected for the motion. Organ donation should be made compulsory. We all know that our human society is facing an erosion because of many vulnerable diseases. Some of them have cure and some of them do not even have a medicine. Most of the deadly diseases have an only solution as organ transplantation. A statistics reveals almost 114,000 people in the United States alone are currently on the waiting list for a life-saving organ transplant. Another name is added to the national transplant waiting list every 10 minutes. On average, 20 people die every day from the lack of available organs for the transplant. The same statistics clearly mentioning that one person can donate up to 8 life-saving organs, which means the donated person saved the lives of more than just a single person. In these hard times, saving a life is a blessed, meritorious thing. In our country, Kerala state alone is facing 5 lakhs deaths per year due to the lack of organs. Just think of it as a whole nation. We can overcome this calamity only by making the organs available through donations. When the donations made, we assure that someone is going to live more due to this. The organ donation not only saves an individual, but also his or her family, and also it makes sure about the survival of the whole generation. Many people are kidnapped for organs. Illegal human organ trafficking is in almost every country. Some poor people are selling organs. All these things are consequences of organ shortage. If organ donation isn't made compulsory, the surplus organs can be used for research purposes. As a result, it'll be easier to find the cure of many diseases. So the organ donation will also reduce the crimes related to the human trafficking. When the need is fulfilled, there is no need of extortion. I strongly stress that the organ donation should be made compulsory, and I hope that my later points would have added the credits to my argument. Once again, I thank everyone for the opportunity provided. Over to the moderator.
Wonderfully done, Sana. Some wonderful arguments there. Let's see how the judges score you. You'll have to give us a minute or two while the judges enter their scores. Meghna, I have your scores.
Yes, those are final scores from my end, Shivayu.
Thank you, Meghna. I can see Samira ma'am entering her scores. I can see Sulakshana ma'am also entering her scores. Samira ma'am, I have your scores. May I take them as final?
Yes, sir.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
Confirm.
So, Lakshana ma'am, I have your scores. May I take them as final? Well, if the scores are final, Sana, these are your scores out of 95 after your first round up on your screen now. Wonderfully done. And let's see how Kartikeya does. Kartika, you're up next. We would love to know a little bit about you before you start.
I apologize if my introduction goes a bit long. Okay, so my name is Shankar and I am representing Shri Ravi Shankar Vidyamandir, Bangalore South on this highly esteemed platform. So my hobbies mostly include studying science, physics, chemistry, and maths. I hate bio, and I also like music. I like normal music, rock music. I like rapping. I am a rapper, and I also like acting. I I also in sports. I don't like conventional sports, but I play badminton, and I also like mixed martial arts. And mostly I like combat sports, and I am a martial artist. And obviously I like debating, and I've been to many months mock parliaments and debates in the past, and I hope that my experience is fruitful for this debate.
Wonderful, Kartikeya. I wish we had half the energy that you do to do all those things and still come here smiling. Wonderful to see you here. Kartikeya, if you're ready with your arguments, we will start your time for the debate now.
So the first thing I would like to tell is a story about a woman, about a person who has went through through two kidney transplants. Her name is Rosie Edwards, and she says that she's against organ donation because she believes that we have our own sovereignty over our own body, and no one can legislate what we have to do with our bodies. Okay, that's all emotional and that's all sentimental. But let's come to the facts. Organ donation is not something really simple. Organ donation includes many aspects, and those aspects include medical aspects, social and religious aspects, scientific aspects, and most importantly, global aspects. Now, looking at a medical aspect, let me give you an example of a housing society which consists of 100 people, which has a population of 100. And someone just comes in and proposes the idea of organ donation and asks the people to sign up for organ donation. Now, obviously, many people will appreciate this idea and many people will sign up. But still, some people, I must say a certain number of people, like 40, let's say 40 people have some underlying medical conditions which make them unfit for organ donation. But still, it's compulsory and they will also sign up, and which can be really bad for long term, I think. Like, it's just like now, because it's compulsory, because if it is compulsory, people who have some underlying medical conditions or ailments which make them unfit for organ donation will also come and donate their organs or will sign up deliberately or reluctantly, I don't know, but still they will. Second thing, if we come to the social aspect, so again, take the example of the same housing society. Many people will disagree to this idea because of their own reasons, their emotional reasons, because of their families, or because of their religion. Now, many religions consider organ donation as a sin because it actually results in the tampering of the corpse or the tampering of the soul, consequently. So, yeah, communism actually failed because it was against the human nature, or it went against the human nature, and it failed in many areas. So similarly, if this idea is also clearly against human nature, and this idea also goes against human nature, which actually says that humans are not very generous, and obviously we are selfish in some at some point of time, and obviously this is somewhere where most of us are selfish. And if this idea is implemented without taking the consent of the people, obviously it can be a huge failure. Third thing, the global aspect of this thing. Many countries in the world don't have an efficient medical system. And organ donation is something which requires a really efficient medical system. So if the medical system is not efficient, you can't expect organ donation to be a big hit and a successful policy. And making it compulsory can make the matters worse. Obviously, it can be successful in developed countries, but in underdeveloped countries like Iran, Iraq, Syria, India, Myanmar, Pakistan, Afghanistan, in these countries, obviously, this cannot be a great idea because they don't have an efficient medical system, and the people over there are also not aware. So obviously, if we have to cover up all these things, it will take a lot of time and it will take a lot of effort. It can take even decades to change everything at a global level. And lastly, in my personal opinion, organ donation is a voluntary act of generosity. It should be promoted, it should be encouraged. But enforcing it on people is something I consider autocratic, or like it's like we are living in a dictatorship. And if we are expecting a democratic world, we have to consider the basic rights of people. And one of the most basic rights is they have the right to do whatever they want to do with their own body. So we have to consider it at any cost if we want a democratic world. Thank you.
Well, Karthika, some very, very thought-provoking arguments there. Very well spread out across the spectrum. Let's see how the judges score you. Judges, you have access to Karthikeya's scoring sheet. Remember, he is the fourth column, the last column on your right. And we can see the scores coming in, Karthikeya.
But you have my scores already?
Yes, Meghna, I do. Thank you.
Thank you.
Sulakshana ma'am, is that your final score? Should I take that?
Just a minute, sir.
Sure. Samira ma'am, I have your scores. May I take that as your final score?
Yes, sir, you can take that. Confirm.
Thank you so much.
Yes, sir, you can take that as my final score.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Karthika, so we have the scores in now. You will see them on your screen in a second. Out of my personal curiosity, you said certain countries which are developed can make this compulsory and certain countries which are not developed cannot?
No, I mean that it can be, there is a possibility, there is a slim possibility that it can be successful over there because they are developed. But in countries which are not developed, it can be like it works.
Wonderful, Karthikeya. These are your screens up on this. These are your scores up on the screen now. My apologies. Some wonderful scoring there. Very well done. Smriti, you are up next. We would love to know you a little bit better.
A very good afternoon to one and all present here. I'm Smriti Shreya of grade 11 representing SSRVM Bangalore South. I love sports. I'm a volleyball player and I also love playing cricket and football. And I'm very lazy to study.
Well, that was honest, Smriti. Most of us have been. So Smriti, who's like Smriti Mandana, if you're ready, we will start your time for the debate now.
A very good afternoon, everyone. Today, I strongly stand for the motion organ donation should be made compulsory. Do you all know what organ donation is? It refers to the act of giving life to others after or before death by donating a person's organs to the needy and suffering from end-stage organ failure. Death is an inevitable reality for every living being, and everyone eventually knows the pain of losing a dear one. However, not everyone experiences the emotional trauma the family of a patient awaiting transplant undergoes, how their life swings between desperation and anxiety until they get a donor. Probably that is why not everyone is sensitive enough to this issue. Unfortunately, the need for organ donors is much greater than the number of people who actually donate. The World Health Organization stated that over 1.3 lakh organ transplants are performed worldwide, and although it sounds impressive, it is estimated that this number represents less than 10% of the global need. The organ donation list continues to grow, and so does my belief that it's definitely better to donate an organ than to bury it. The Indian Ministry of Health stated that 5 lakh people die every year due to non availability of organs. 20,000 people die of liver diseases, 50,000 from cardiac, and 1.5 lakh people wait for a kidney transplant, but only 5,000 get one. Even in well developed countries like the US, though 90% adults support organ donation, but only 60% are actually signed up as donors. Moreover, it's shocking to know that only 3 in a thousand die in such a way that allows organ donation, causing the death of 20 people each day waiting for an organ transplant and widening the demands and gaps even further. Aren't all these statistics ironic to the fact that one donor can save up to 8 lives? Yes, up to 8 lives and enhance 75 more. Yet, people refuse to do so. For example, there are many people who die due to accidents and their organs are fit to be donated, but their families don't allow that. A person who has anyways passed away cannot see the world, but eye donation can help another person lead a life of his or her dreams. By increasing the productivity of the society, by helping the specially abled people to contribute to the society in a better way. It contributes in the field of biotechnology by helping in research and experiments. Serious crimes such as illegal human organ trafficking could be easily curtailed if the availability of organs matches its demands. If the demand increases, then it will ultimately reduce to the associated expenditure, and this will definitely help the poor to afford organs at a reasonable price. Presumed consent will be a good option for organ donation to narrow the demand supply gap. Many celebrities have given life donations of organs and have also signed up as donors after death. Can't we do the same? Many don't believe in this because of religious myths, lack of awareness, and education. Thus, it's better for people to be educated well in advance than in a state of emotional unrest. In countries like India, religious leaders can be roped to spread awareness, as there is no religion which prohibits a person from saving one's life. Many people still believe that organ donation should be optional, but don't forget that till date it was so, which only resulted in increased deaths by organ shortage. Losing a dear one is excruciatingly painful, but wouldn't it bring some comfort to know that a part of that person is still living through someone else and bringing happiness in their lives? Obviously, a change of this sort will require time to be implemented, but even a journey of 1,000 miles starts with a single step. So, having elucidated these points, I am strongly in favor of the motion that organ donation should be made compulsory. I believe it will be a chance for each one of us to be able to give back to the society by navigating a distraught family's journey from imminent death to a new lease of life and happiness. It will be a chance for each one of us to be a hero in someone else's life. I quote, all new ideas pass through 3 stages. First, they are dismissed as nonsense. Then, they're rejected as being against religion. And finally, they're acknowledged as the truth. I unquote. Thank you, and over to the moderator.
Smriti, well done. Just as your namesake Mandana, you hit that quite well out of the park. Let's see how the judges are scoring you. Judges, you have access to the scoring sheets. Meghna, is that your final score?
Yes, that is. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I can see Samira ma'am's scores coming in. Sulakshana ma'am, I have your scores. Should I take them as final?
Yes, sir. Please do.
Thank you so much. Smriti, that last quote was interesting. Do you know who it is by?
Sir, it's by a famous embryologist. I'm not very sure about his name actually. I don't remember.
Cool. I will look that up because I plan to use that quote sometime. Thank you for introducing me to that.
Welcome, sir.
Samira ma'am, may I take that as your final score?
Yeah, make it confirm, sir.
Thank you so much. So Smriti, if you're looking at the screen now, these are your scores after your first round of debating up on the screen. Some high scores, very well done. Remember, these are scores out of 95 and you have another 5 points to earn from your rebuttal. So I hope your colleagues and your friends in the opponent bench are making notes of what he just said. The fourth speaker is Aisha. Aisha, welcome to the debate.
Thank you, sir.
We would love to know you a little better. Which class, favorite subject, favorite hobbies?
Yeah, sure, sir. So my name is Aisha Fauzia. I'm from Abdul Kalam International School Research Academy. I'm doing my 8th grade. So while looking at my profile, I love painting. It's my passion actually. Yeah, that's all.
Fauzia the painter, your internet connection is not very stable, but we can see and hear you just fine, right? As I told your friend, in case there's a drop-in connection, don't worry. We'll stop the time and pick up from where we left off, right?
Okay, sir.
Nothing to worry about. If you are ready with your arguments, your 5 minutes start now.
Dear esteemed personalities, audience, and the team who are all behind the screen and running the show successfully, I express my gratitude to all of you for providing a prestigious opportunity to take part in an outstanding event. I postulate 3 reasons which clearly back up me for why I'm against the organ donation compulsion. Forcing someone to donate is a threat to our basic human rights. It's an individual's right to choose whether he has to donate or not. And success ratio of organ transplantation is 50% to 90%. That means there are no assurance that the recipient will live even after the transplantation has been made. The word itself clearly meant for donation and not for compulsion. If you do a donation by a compulsion, and it's obviously a contradiction. Regardless of the context, donation should be made with the consent of the concerned. According to me, poverty is the most cruel disease in our earth, and most people are dying because of that. Yet, we are not compelling anyone to donate a penny. Instead, we are asking their organs, which may save the life of others. In this scenario, it's only may or may not. Not sure whether it'll save or not. So my first point is organ donation compulsion is against individual human rights. So it's not social ethical also. We have not framed any honest regulator authority for monitoring and implementing this organ donation. Is there any guarantee the same will not happen here also? Here they're kidnapping the living and organing, but stealing the organs for forgery documents to sell it in the higher bidder, which is the maximum atrocity and disrespect one can done to give deceased. Most of the case study clearly reveal that they are looting the organs and selling to the rich and foreign nations for high price. That ultimately not decrease the crime, rather it increases the intents of crime. Moreover, we don't have infrastructure to preserve the organs, to use it in the most appropriate movement. If that was not preserved, eventually it leads to the organs get waste. So, if a country does not have a sufficient facility to storage the grains and rice, they are expected to preserve the organs. Most of all above, because of this organ transplantation, only rich is going to yield and the poor will still starving, hard to get the treatment. And the transplant, the third and most important one is religious. We should respect the belief of deceased as well as the living. Each person will have their own belief. As far as they believe it may be wrong to donate the organs, and they may have their own reasons. Instead of researching and arguing their belief, we should respect it first. Saving a human is important. At the same time, respecting a human's belief is also important.
I conclude my arguing with a strong note that the organ donation may save the life of other person, but not making it compulsory is not ethical. If a person is willing to donate, it should be increased. But if not, then no one has the right to compel him or his family to do so. Once again, I thank you for the opportunity. Thank you, sir.
Well done, Aisha. Wonderful arguments there. The deceased versus the diseased. Let's see how the judges are scoring you. Meghna, can I take that as your final score?
Yes, please. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I can see Samira ma'am is still scoring you. Sulakshana ma'am, I have some scores. Let me know when I can take them.
Yes, so you can take this as my final score. Thank you.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Samira ma'am, may I take that as your final score?
Yeah, you have taken that as my final score, sir.
Thank you so much. So Aisha, if you're looking at your screen, these are your scores out of 95 out of after your first 5 minutes up on the screen now. This has heated up to be a tough battle. We have deliberately not put in the averages because we want to see how you scored in your rebuttal, and those should play a role in your total average. So you have now 2 minutes to rebut the points from the opposition bench. Remember, although you're from different schools, Sana and Smriti, both of you are rebutting points put forth by Kartikeya and Aisha, and vice versa. All right, Sana, if you're ready with your rebuttal points.
My fellow opponent stated that organ donation compulsion is against the religion belief. I am a believer, and I strongly believe that all the religion in this world encourages love and supporting other human. Eventually, the organ donation's only aim is to support and help the dying from dying to live. I believe that's more religious. Just think, a lot of people are dying only because of the scarcity of healthy organs. If we donate organs not while living, I repeat that the donated organ will be used only after the concerned is dead. That donation will make another person to live. In a way, the person who donated also lives. I believe that organ donation makes the human immortal by this under-practiced good deed. Thank you. Over to the moderator.
Thank you, Sana. Wonderful rebuttal there. After Sana, we have Kartikeya. Kartikeya, if you are ready with your points for rebuttal, we will start. I'm sorry. Judges, please know that you can put in your scores in the 9th row now for Sana. Meghna, I have your score. Samira ma'am, I have your score as well. Sulakshana ma'am, I have your score as well. Thank you so much. Kartikeya, if you're ready with your rebuttal, your time starts now.
My fellow opponent stated that a journey of 1,000 miles starts with one step, but if the journey is in a wrong direction, it will be a failure. So we have to note that, as I mentioned, there are some aspects, and some of the most basic aspects have to be considered before taking any kind of step or taking any kind of decision, I think. Okay. And my fellow opponent also stated that she's a believer of religion, and no religion says that charity is wrong. But many religions also state that organ donation is wrong because it tampers the dead body and also resulting in the tampering of the soul or the unsatisfied soul. Religions state that, and many religions are against this. And people don't understand that what it can lead to. It can even lead to religious clashes or riots. It can lead to political instability in other countries. And my fellow opponent also stated that the increasing demand of organs has led to the belief that organ donation should be made compulsory. But there are also many ways in which we can fulfill the demand by opening as many organ or tissue banks as possible. And she also stated that many celebrities are also signing up for organ donations, but we have to know that many of the celebrities are also doing it for publicity, for popularity, and we don't know if they're going to do it actually or not. Organ donation, I'm repeating it again, organ donation is a noble task. It's a generous act which is done voluntarily, and it cannot be forced upon anyone. And if we expect a democratic world in the future, a world with a peaceful world, then we have to take the consent of each and every living being. Thank you.
Well done, Kartikeya. Some very forceful points there. Judges, please put in Kartikeya's scores. We will show you the scores of the rebuttal after all the 4 rebuttals are done, so don't worry about it. Meghna ma'am, Sulakshana ma'am, I have your scores. Samira ma'am, we are waiting for your score. Thank you, ma'am. Smriti, you're up next. If you're ready, your 2 minutes of rebuttal starts now.
My worthy opponents mentioned that it will be difficult to convince people for donating organs. Let me tell you this. More than 30% of the people want this law to be implemented because they're in short of organs. They're in short of organs. And then other people might think about the future and also keep themselves in other shoes and support organ donation. And the rest, who are educated and well aware of this kind deed, would surely participate in it. One of my worthy opponents also said religion doesn't support these. Let me tell you, there's no religion which is against humanity. Indeed, in all religions, it's considered a charitable act for organ donation and to save someone's life. My opponent Aisha also mentioned that it's important to save a person's life, but it is also important to respect a person's belief. There is no belief which is above humanity. And then my fellow opponent Kartikeya mentioned something about tampering of souls. It's just a belief, it's not scientifically proven, so please don't go with that. And then also they told that there is only 50% chance of organ donation transplants to be successful. Let me tell you that organ donation, transplanting, etc. are evolving. For example, being born before time was a definite death knell in the past. However, due to continued trials and learning today, babies born as early as 6 to 7 months are being saved and given a new lease of life. Similarly, with experience and understanding along with availability of newer drugs, there will definitely be improvement in the future. Thank you.
Well done, Smriti. You and Kartikeya, are you guys in the same class?
Yes, sir.
I love the way you just told him off. Well, judges, please start entering your scores. Meghna, I have your score already. Sulakshana ma'am, I have your score as well. Samira ma'am, we are waiting for your score. Yeah. Thank you so much. And now it is the turn of the final speaker. Aisha, if you're ready with your rebuttal, your 2 minutes for rebuttal starts now.
My friend here pointed out the organ donation will pave the way to save a lot of life, and surplus organs can be used for research. Without even having a storage facility, how could you propose to preserve the organs? And the notable point is already numerous quantities of organs was wasted by the researchers in the name of scientific research. Instead, they would have given to the dying people who were in almost need. Science will always carve the reason to make the human believe. Everyone is speaking about the transplantation, but none even uttering a word about graft rejection, which is a side effect of organ transplantation. Even though the vital and blood group are same, the recipient's immune system will recognize the planted organ as a foreign host only. Soon it will cause to reject it and lead to another destructive phase that in that concerned present medical condition. So organ donation is not only the cure. I insist and repeat my ground clearly that if it was donated, highly appreciable, but not imposed by others to donate. Thank you.
Wonderfully done, Aisha. Let's see how the judges are scoring you. I have been holding on to those scores very, very carefully. So Lakshana ma'am, I have your score. Samira ma'am, I have your score as well. Meghna, I have your score. Thank you so much, judges. For now, we will hold on to the scores for a bit. I'm going to play the evil moderator and keep you in suspense. Also, before we start off with the few messages that we have for all of you, this is when you need to frantically start messaging your friends, because an audience poll is coming up. And if you've seen the earlier debates, you know that the audience poll for the best speaker gets to win your school 25 very valuable extra points, right? So with that, we now move on to tell you a little bit about Notebook. Notebook, which is running this entire debate, has been able to put together so many schools in this platform. Notebook is an EdTech app. We started about 2 years back, our journey, and we said that students across the country, across the world, in fact, should have access to very easy short form video content to make their studies more enjoyable. We grew up on an unhealthy diet of comics and storybooks, and we said, why not tell stories that teach you topics? With that objective, we set up Notebook, we started creating video content. And very, very happy to tell you that just a few days back, we crossed our millionth user. We have served over 1 million students with our video content, which really, really warms our heart. What I'll do now is show you a small clip of one of the Notebook videos so that you get a better idea of what Notebook is and perhaps use that for your own studies. If you could play the clip, please.
On 10th May 1994, the Union Buildings in Pretoria witnessed the establishment of a democratic government. The decades of domination by white-skinned colonizers of South Africa were finally over. Let us go through the highlights of Mandela's presidential speech at the inauguration. Mandela makes the audience understand the significance of their victory. The South Africans have spent years of oppression and lived as outlaws in their own country. The fight for justice, peace, and human dignity has finally triumphed. He urges everyone to liberate people from the shackles of suffering and discrimination. He takes an oath with all the people gathered for the occasion, never to submit to oppression again. Next, we find out how the transfer of power becomes apparent through a number of symbolic acts. The South African military force display a spectacular feat with jet planes to show their loyalty to the new government. The highest defense generals and the police arrested Mandela a few days back, but now they greet him with salutes. Through Mandela's account, we also witness the establishment of a new kind of nationalism. The white-skinned members of the audience sing Nkosi Sikelel' iAfrika, and the black-skinned population sings Die Stem to celebrate the moment of harmony. Nkosi Sikelel' iAfrika, or Lord Bless Africa, is used as the national anthem of South Africa since 1997. It was first composed as a hymn by Enoch Sontonga, a clergyman at a Methodist mission school near Johannesburg. Later, this hymn became the national anthem of 5 states in Africa, including Zambia, Tanzania, Namibia, and Zimbabwe. Die Stem van Suid-Afrika, or the Call South Africa, was the national anthem of South Africa from 1957 to 1994. From 94 to 97, this song was jointly the national anthem with Nkosi Sikelel' Afrika. Afterwards, a new song which borrowed elements from both the old songs was adopted as the country's new national anthem. Mandela then recounts the history of the apartheid in South Africa. It stretched for centuries, starting a few years after the Anglo-Boer War. Nelson Mandela attributes the freedom achieved to the sacrifices of the African patriots. They have preceded him in their struggle for freedom and hugely influenced him. Mandela's words express awareness of the tormented past shared by his race. He also feels that extraordinary men like Tambos, Walter Sisulus, Chief Luthulis, Yusuf Dadus, Bram Fishers were shaped by the tragedies they faced.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, that was a small clip of one of the notebook videos. You would find similar videos for every topic, for every class, and for every subject. Well, to tell you a little more about Notebook and to speak about the fantastic debate that he's just heard, let me now invite Achin Bhattacharyya. Achin is the founder and CEO of Notebook. He's a chartered accountant by training and has served in all the 4 major consultants across the globe. He held very senior positions in each consultancy company. His last role before starting Notebook was as the director at Deloitte. Achin, if you're there, over to you.
Sure. Shubha, am I audible?
Yes, Achin, and happy birthday.
Thank you. Thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. Overall, we had a great session, thought-provoking and insightful. I really like that calm and logical style of debating that I saw today. Very different from what we have been seeing in last few sessions. It definitely shows the self-confidence of our young participants. Sana, Smriti, Kartikeya and Aisha. Very well done, all of you. See, the whole objective of promoting these debates on our platform has been to promote the art of public speaking. So I'm sure that your performance, the way you have come across, will inspire many in your schools and many of our audience who are watching this. So the whole objective is let the good word spread. I also thank both the adjudicators, principals of both the schools, and other senior teachers who have contributed in mentoring all of you. A special word of congratulations to proud parents. Indeed, you have every reason to rejoice with such great performance by your children today. So at Notebook, as Shubha mentioned, that students and teachers are at the center of our universe. For last 2 years, we have relentlessly worked on more than 10,000 videos on our platform. And very recently, as we have touched our millionth user, we understand that customer satisfaction, like the way you saw this video just now, we have 10,000 videos like that. And we really believe in one thing, that let things be short and simple. That really helps. So the art of storytelling, which is at the core, which is the DNA of Notebook, is how we have built this platform in order to ensure that things are short, simple, accessible. So with this, I also congratulate our esteemed audience for being with us today to support the cause of public speaking. Your encouragement really helps. It goes a long way. I look forward to see all of you again in our webinar that we have at 5 p.m. today. Thank you. Over to you, Shubha.
Thank you, Achin. Thank you for those words of encouragement and telling us more about Notebook. In case you guys want to check it out for yourself, it's at www.notebook.school. We hope that you would like the work that we have done. Also, this particular debate is brought to you in partnership with Save the Children Foundation. Save the Children is an NGO that works globally to save the childhoods of millions of children every year. Last year, they finished 100 years of their existence. Here's a short message from their CEO, Ms. Bidisha Pillai.
Save the Children was born in 1919. 100 years is not a milestone that many organizations or individuals can claim to have reached. And for us, it's been a tireless, relentless journey to ensure that every child has access to their rights. Every child has a voice. But when we look back at 100 years, because 100 is also a time to reflect, we wonder what it would be like to live in a world where children don't need to be saved. Perhaps we could live in a world where Save the Children does not need to exist. And so as we look at the future, we envision a world which is much kinder to its children. A world in which children no longer need to be protected from violence. Where children are not needlessly dying before they turn 5. Where every child is going to school, is learning, is playing, and is on that path towards fulfilling their full potential. As we turn 100, we pledge to work towards that future of a much kinder and brighter world for children. Every day, every hour, every minute, we will continue on that path. But we also know we can't do it alone. We want to work closely with the communities, with our partners, with the government, and most importantly, with the children themselves. They are going to be the change makers of tomorrow. Children like Onuyara, like Rahul, like Salman, like Mamta, they are the ones who are breaking gender stereotypes. They are challenging social norms, and they are changing the world and the lives of themselves and also children around them. We pledge to continue working with them, alongside them, to ensure that every child gets the right start. I'm Bidisha Pillai, and I invite you to join Save the Children in our commitment to ensure that every child gets the right start.
Well, those were some heartwarming messages and images there. We are very fortunate and very happy to tell you that the winners of the 0 Hour debate would also be offered internships to work with the wonderful team at Save the Children. Well, with that, I will not prolong the suspense any further. I know you guys are at the edge of your seats. These are your scores after your arguments and your rebuttal. Sana, you have 84 out of a total of 100 points that you could have scored. Kartikeya, you are at 84 as well. Smriti, you are at 90. Aisha, you are at 90 as well. Which brings us to a very, very interesting situation. Both the schools are tied at an average score of 87. And this is perhaps the perfect setting for the audience to come in. The audience poll will decide who gets to win this debate. So I hope you guys have been frantically messaging your friends and your classmates to come and join. I know Kartikeya went off the camera for a little bit, so I'm guessing his WhatsApp has been hyperactive for a few minutes there. Well, audience, you will now see a poll on your screen. The poll will have the names of the 4 speakers. Remember, you are voting for the best speaker, so that one speaker who gets your vote the most will be judged the best speaker, and the school that he or she is from will get those 25 extra points. So the audience, if you are ready, you would see the polls on your screen now. You have 1 minute to place your vote. We are waiting for 123 people to vote. Let's see how this goes. We have 100 plus votes. It's about 25 seconds in. $16 people still to vote. Last few seconds and we will close. These, ladies and gentlemen, are the results from the audience poll. In the 4th place, Kartikeya with 7% votes. In the 3rd place, we have Sana with 10%. In the 2nd place, we have Aisha with 19%. Smriti just ran away with it with 64% of the votes. Congratulations, Smriti. You are the audience choice for the best speaker of the day. It is now my job to update the scores. And some mental maths there. I have done more maths with these debates than I've ever done in my entire school life. Got to be honest about that. So, ladies and gentlemen, those are the final scores on your screen. Dr. Abdul Kalam International School and Research Academy finishing with an average of 87 points out of the total possible 125. Sri Ravi Shankar Vidyamandir, Bangalore with 112, thanks to the audience poll giving them 25 extra points. earned by Smriti. Very well done, all of you. I would like to request Meghna now. Meghna, as I said, is an advisor to Notebook. She's had a phenomenal amount of experience working with World Bank, herself a Columbia University graduate. Meghna, if you would like to share some closing statements.
Thank you, Shivayu. Thanks for that introduction. I'm just spellbound today. I think some very phenomenal debating has been done here. It's been phenomenal. It's just like a cricket or a football match where we see a tie, and you know, we all sit up to see who wins the game. So I was thoroughly excited to hear such prospective future leaders speak so emphatically on the forum. I wish to convey my best wishes to all the candidates, Smriti, Ayesha, Sana, and Kartikeya, who participated today. All of you are heroes, very closely battled, and some very thought-provoking points were brought out on organ donation. In fact, I wouldn't be able to do the excellent job myself that you all are doing at your age. And this is an honest statement. I'm very glad that such cross-country debate forums are giving the best exposure to students and teaching them to face global competition. What's even more commendable is that both the schools have performed at their highest levels. There's so much research and articulation that's going into every participant's speech that reflects upon their own resolve and determination to win a case. So again, I would like to convey my thanks and best wishes to all of you and encourage you to fearlessly participate in such forums to improve your confidence levels and make your own school proud. Thank you. Over to you, Shubhai.
Thank you so much, Meghna. So that's all from today, ladies and gentlemen. The winner for the match number 10 of Pool C, Sri Ravi, Shankar, Vidyamandir, Bangalore South. Congratulations to the winners. The team from Kanyakumari, do not lose heart. You've done a phenomenal job. The scores were actually tied, which is very, very well done. I'm sure you take back the wonderful experience of this debate. And I'm sure there are way many more points in this debate that are yet to come out from these 5 minutes that you spoke. I hope you debate this further in your classes and tell us what your friends think. Smriti, Kartikeya, well done. I guess celebrations are in order. Bangalore traffic has eased up thanks to the lockdowns, but I hope you celebrate by maintaining proper social distancing. That's all from us, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for being a part of this debate, and we hope to see you at 5 o'clock on our Together for Education webinar. The next debate is on Monday. Until then, have a great weekend. Goodbye.